Suffering in silence is common. You know, there's a stigma that men tend to hold in their feelings, but it's both genders, men and women. My best advice and what I can say is it's worth it to speak on what you're suffering from. You know, sometimes I speak on experience, based off experience on this channel. Sometimes I speak based off what I just see in this world. So much is wrong. You know, but we tend to just put it behind us. What I can tell you is start that channel now. If you don't want to talk to anybody, talk to yourself. Right? Start that channel and speak on your insecurities. Speak on what bothers you every single day. I'm 30 plus seconds in. Thank you if you're still here. Let's really get into it. You know, I advocate for mental, physical, and spiritual health, but that's just health in general. I just want to raise the collective consciousness of everyone that exists, everyone that clicks on my videos. I'm closing in on 1 minute. Let's really get into it. Sometimes you just need that deep breath, right? Suffering in silence is so common. You know, because if you're a man, from a young man's perspective or just a man's perspective in general, you're soft, you're insecure. The list goes on and on and on. What do you need therapy for? Right? And a lot of women, they fend for themselves. It could be mothers, it could be daughters, it could just be people who don't have anyone. Both genders, like I said, there's a stigma based on women show their feelings way more. Or women are way more emotional. You know, I actually feel like men are more emotional, but we hold it in. That's why when we let it out, it's super ballistic. Let me know if you disagree or agree. Let me know if anything I have said so far resonates with you guys. I won't talk your heads off for too long. Suffering in silence is common, and you can see it in your everyday life. You know, a lot of people that put a smile on their face every single day are suffering. A lot of people that make you laugh are suffering their damn self. I'm closing on 2 minutes. Thank you if you're still here. You know what to do when you're suffering. Listen, like I said, it's a stigma to not go to therapy, but you can go to therapy, but therapy will only do so much. What are you doing when you leave that therapy session? That's when we really get into things, right? You know, suffering in silence is common due to the point that people have been struggling since middle school, since high school, and now they're 30, 40 years old and never got over their problems, never dealt with their issues, because in this life, you're a robot. You have to wake up and pay bills. You have to wake up and go to work. You don't even got time to focus on yourself. That's why we all suffer in silence. Listen, the best way to combat this is speak to somebody. Speaking to somebody is worth it. And it doesn't have to be a labeled therapist, a labeled psychologist. It could be mom. If you and mom need to call each other, if you need to call mom, if mom need to call you, call each other. Same with your dad. From a parent's perspective, if you need to call your son, if you need to call your daughter, right? Like, it's things like that that help our suffering. Some suffering is more than others, but sometimes we dealt with something small. We went through something small and we've been suffering from it because we didn't attend to the problem when the problem was there. We let it linger on, we let it drag on. You know, I'm 3 minutes in. Thank you if you're still here. You know, I got my feet in the grass barefoot right now, and that's what I always do. It's 60 degrees out today with a little bit of chill. The sun's shining a little bit. I'm always going to be in nature. If you go down my whole entire channel, you'll see that's what I do, right? Like, that's what I do. Shout out to y'all for showing up. Suffering in silence is common, and it's bad, though. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing I'm making this video. I made this video just to speak on the fact that we need to be aware of it, and we need to speak on our issues. We need to speak on our problems, whether they're small or they're big, because I guarantee you a small problem will turn into something huge. And that's any facet of life. That's dealing with a relationship, that's dealing with a situationship, that's dealing with mom, that's dealing with dad, that's dealing with brother, that's dealing with sister, professor. Like, the list goes on. Best friend, foe, frenemy, enemy. 4 minutes in. Thank you if you're still here. You didn't have to be here. You didn't have to show up. You know, sometimes touching a tree is all you need, right? Literally, sometimes touching a tree, boom. And that felt good. You know, like, we neglect our connection with nature. And I'm going to keep saying it. Like I said, I don't want to do this to make $1 million. I'm not doing this for the most clout, for the most fame. I don't even want that. You know, I'm doing this to truly help people, because I can tell you one thing, making these videos helped myself. Because right now I'm talking to myself, literally. Because this video is not even out yet while I'm recording this, at the moment of recording. You get what I'm saying? Young king, young queen, king, queen, whoever showed up. Shout out to everyone who came. We're going to keep it going, not too much longer, but we're going to keep it going. You know, suffering in silence is, I don't want to say 100% of the population on this earth, but probably damn near. I can't say 100% of the population because there's newborns, there is older folk that just, living their life. And there's people my age, a little bit older than me, a little bit younger than me, that aren't truly suffering, but many people are. 5 minutes in, thank you if you're still here. Many people are suffering in silence due to the fact that they don't want to speak up because they're soft, or they don't want to speak up because of this, or they don't want to speak up because of that. Speak up. Like I said, if you don't want to speak to anybody, start turning it into music. Start turning it into a channel. And start that now, though. Start writing notes down. Start journaling how your day's been. And I don't journal personally, but all my young men, all my young kings out there, if you want to journal too, that's fine. It's not feminine. It's not this. It's not that. Do what works best for you. I don't push any spiritual beliefs or religious beliefs on any single person that'll ever come across any one of my videos. And you literally will see that. I have hundreds of videos. But prayer, meditation, do what works best for you. If neither work best for you, just come outside and get a deep breath of fresh air. Go touch a tree like I always say. I promise you the energy from these trees, literally, it helps you reflect on, I promise you, it just helps you feel, it energizes you naturally. 6 minutes in, thank you if you're still here. Suffering in silence. That's the topic. That's the main gist of the video. Hopefully you picked up on something. It's frustrating that we have to deal with certain things. A lot of things put us in a depressive state, and it's just how do I get out of this depressive state? It sucks. Everyone got a bad story, a sad story, so it's I know someone else is dealing with this. So let me not get too low, right? Please don't get too low in this life, even when you're suffering in silence. Please don't get too low in this life. Who am I to tell you what to do and what not to do, right? Right, half the time I'm talking to myself. Right now I'm talking to myself, Dad, don't get too low, right? And I'm talking to y'all as well. Shout out to everyone who watched. Like I said, I advocate for mental, physical, and spiritual health. Suffering in silence is common. Is that a good thing? Hell no, it's not a good thing. Shout out to anyone who showed up. Like I said, I'm barefooted, ashy feet. I don't know if y'all saw, but take a deep breath when you get in nature, and I promise you it'll do wonders. It'll change your outlook. Sometimes the change of scenery is just a walk in the park. Thank y'all for watching.